Hello everybody, I welcome you for today's session, and today we will continue our discussion on pandas. Before we go ahead, we will quickly revise what we have seen in the previous session. So pandas is a very important concept or very important library. It provides us with a very fast and efficient data frame, or basically it is built on top of NumPy. So elegantly it is very fast and it is consuming less memory, and lot of ready-made features are available. And the important data structures in pandas are series, data frame, and panel. These data structures are built on top of NumPy array, and hence they are fast. So here we had seen series concept. Series is one-dimensional array, and data frame is two-dimensional, whereas panel is three-dimensional. Series is 1D labeled homogeneous collection, and it is size immutable, whereas data frame is 2D labeled, it is size mutable. It is tabular structure with potentially heterogeneous typed columns, and panel is like container of data frame. So here we had seen how to create the series. So we had seen different techniques of creating the series. So an empty series can be created by writing s is equal to pd.series. For that we have to import the library, import pandas as pd, then print s. Then we have an array, and using an array also we can create a series. Then we can, when you create a particular series and you display it, by default the indexing will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. But if you are using a series, you can provide your customized index. So you can write data, index and specify the values. So these are the values you may provide. So here we can also use a dictionary for creating the series. Then we have, this is the index part we have specified. And this is, you can specify a scalar value. So when you are providing one scalar value, it will be repeated depending on the index which is supplied. And we can access the individual element by providing the index. So s square bracket 0 colon 3. Colon 3 means starting from the beginning till the third index. Third is will be excluded. So here we have also seen minus 3 colon, that will give us the last three elements. Then we had seen that you can have multiple data or multiple elements by providing the set of indexes, but that has to be given in the form of list, because slicing concept takes only one parameter. So it has to be one parameter which may be in the list format, or it may be kind of combination. If you provide a key which is not present, it will give us the key error. Now today we are going to start with data frame concept. So what is a data frame? Yesterday we saw, right? Data frame is a two-dimensional data structure. That is, data is aligned in a tabular fashion, and it has got rows and columns. Features of data frame. Potentially, columns are of different types: size mutable, labeled access, and it can perform various operations. So we have a structure. You can see that suppose we have registration number, we have name, we have marks. So here these are the different columns and these are the rows. You can think of it as an SQL table or a spreadsheet data representation. Pandas.dataFrame is the class we have to use for creating the data frame. So pandas.dataFrame, we provide the data, then index, columns, dtype, copy. So data here we are providing. Data takes various forms like ND array, series, map, list, dictionary, constant, and also another data frame. So we can supply so many information which can work as a data. Then we have index. So index, like we have seen in series, right? There is an index to the rows. You may specify what index you want. Now we have columns. So that will represent the column heading. So this part is considered as a column. Then data type. We may provide the data type for all the elements, and then copy, whether you want a copy to be created or not, whenever we are performing some operation. So here, how to create the data frame? You can create a data frame by using a list or a dictionary or a series or an NumPy ND array, or you can also use another ready-made data frame and create a new data frame out of it. So these can work as an input for creating the data frame. So this is the first example where we are importing pandas library. Then we are writing pd.data frame. This will create a new empty data frame. In this particular scenario, column is empty, index is also empty. Now let's say I have a list of numbers. We are providing this list of number here to create the data frame. In this scenario, you may see that if you just cover this part, you may see till this point it is same as series concept. But this is something which is added over here. So this is index, and now you can see the column part is also added here. Now let's take another example. Suppose you have a list of list where you have say name, age, name, age, name, age. It's a collection of name and age. Now using this, we are creating a data frame. So here we are supplying data and we are saying columns is equal to name, age. So here you may observe header part is name and age. So let's try this out. Let me open yesterday's 1 minute. So in the same sheet only I will continue so that if I mail you, you have all the code in one place. So this is our yesterday's code. This sheet I have mailed you, okay? So first, as we have to import pandas library, we have already done here. So just run this one. You can see it's trying to load the library. Now coming to this section, we will have DA, that is the data frame, pd.data frame. And now, if I do not specify any value and just try to print it, you will see it's not showing up anything. Now we will have some data provided here. So let's use a list. So directly I am using a list. So you can see this is the index part, this is the column part. Now, as we saw that suppose I have a list of students. So here I am saying first is the roll number, second is the name, and the next one is suppose the percentage. This is one list we have. Now in the similar way, let's have 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have a list which is having another list, means a collection of another list where we have something like roll. I'm assuming it's roll number, name, and percentage. Now using this information, I want to create a data frame. So here we will write pd.data frame and pass this data as a parameter. And let's first print it. What is the error? Data not defined. Oh, sorry. I have written this data here. That is wrong. So now can you see it has created the data frame, but by default the indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3 like this, and here we have 0, 1, 2 as the column header. Now suppose I don't want this 0, 1, 2 as the column header, then I have to write here columns is equal to, and the first one I want it to be the roll number. Then the next one is name, and the next one is percentage. Okay, so now if I run this, you can see roll number, name, and percentage. If you don't want the indexing to be like this, then what you can do is here you may write index is equal to, and let me try writing roll number. Means I'm trying to pick up one of the columns. No, this is not allowed. I think we can give it, but I am just not very much sure about this syntax. I'll just verify that. But for the timing, let me just use a list. Say 101, 102, 103, 104. Four records we have. So this way you may provide the requirements. You can have the customized indexing also possible.
बस भेज रहा है एक्सेप्ट कर लो
हाँ. Okay, so we have a data frame from the dictionary of ND arrays. All the ND arrays must be of the same length. If index is passed, then the length of the index should be equal to the length of the arrays. So if you are, if I don't provide the index with a matching thing, then you can see that it will throw an error. So all the things should be matching. That is a must. If no index is passed, then by default index will be range n, where n is the array length. Now here, let's take another example where we are using the concept of a dictionary to create the data frame. So in this case, we are using data is equal to name colon. We have a list of names here. So this is my first key and value pair. Second, again, we have age colon a set of values. So this is another key value pair that we have. Using this information also, we can create a data frame. So let's see how to do that. So here, let's call this as data. So first I'm giving the key. So key is suppose name, colon. Now here we have to provide the bunch of names. So these are the names we have. Next is age. So specify the age. Next is suppose we want, look, what should I add? Percentage. So percentage is suppose 67, 63, 78 and 70. So once this dictionary object is created, using this dictionary object, we have to create a data frame. So df is equal to pd dot data frame, and now we are passing this data. Let me just run this one. So here you can see automatically the key part becomes the column header, and then accordingly the indexes by default it takes as 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. So this is how a data frame can be created. So using dictionary we have seen, and if you want you can provide customized index also. So here we can write index is equal to, let's say I want the index to be A, B, C and D. So this way this is the index part, we can specify that. So this is another case where we are using two dictionaries. Means can you see this data is a collection or the list of dictionaries. Here the dictionaries have similar type of keys. So let me create this one. Let's say here I am writing students is equal to, I am using a list. So first I am going to create the first list where I am writing name. So name is equal to, some name is there, then I am saying age. So age is suppose 34, and then I am writing percentage colon 78. This is one dictionary object we have. Now let's use a comma and have such different objects. Okay, let me just hit enter over here so that we can have the visibility of the data better. So this part, let me modify. This one also will modify. Age also we need to change. Percentage. So here we have this type of list where every element is a dictionary. That means a collection of key value pair. Important point is the key here is matching. Using this type of dictionary, you can create a data frame. So here I am passing students, and let me just use it like this and try to print it. When you print, you can see this is age, name, and percentage. It will automatically take it in the alphabetical order. So here you can see name is first, then age, and then percentage. Now you can see this is the age column, and names and percentage have been stored here. If you want, you can specify the index as per your requirement, but this is how you can create a data frame. Okay, now one more thing. If I have another key here, that is suppose location, and here I am saying say location is Pune. Now this location is not present in the second and the third information. So if I run this, you can see the location is Pune, but for the other two records, the value will be considered as a missing value or MAN. Okay, so index part I have shown you. Now index and column also we have seen. Now if you have 1 minute, here you can see that we can have series also for creating the data frame. So we can have one series which has age, the other series which has names, and the other series which has percentage. We can combine these and create a dictionary. So let's try this out. So let's say I have a series. So here I am writing data is equal to. The first thing is name. Now what is name? So name is a series object where I have a collection of names. So this is my first key value pair. Next we have age. So here we have say 12, 23, 14. Three information I'm taking. Then we have percentage. Okay. Now if I write data, okay, so this has to be in the dictionary format. Okay? This is a dictionary we are considering, not a list. So let me just verify this is the first one.
मैम
Okay,
डेटा फ्रेम को
here
कॉल
we
करना
have
पड़ेगा ना.
एज एज में ब्रैकेट नहीं है मैम,
हाँ
एज और परसेंटेज में सीरीज के
हाँ
बाद.
वो चाहिए ब्रैकेट हाँ ये चलेगा ना it returns the object that is fine. Okay, so the problem here is that I have to give index हाँ सब में index match होना जरूरी है. So index is equal to say 1 2 3 सबका सेम इंडेक्स होना जरूरी है तभी हम उसको डेटा फ्रेम में यूज कर सकते हैं. हाँ ये जो पार्ट है ना ये it has to be in the form of list, that is one mistake. Here also I have to give it in the form of list. अभी देखो ये error नहीं आया हाँ मतलब ये successfully created. It should not show error while creating this. Okay, so there is no error here. Now I am going to write the
Index is not required in percentage.
दिया ना?
Okay.
I gave it. Huh? Now here, if you just run this, can you see the new data frame has been created? So there are n number of techniques for creating the data frame. We can create it from a simple list, from an array, from dictionary. We can have it from the series as well. So various inputs can be taken for creating the dictionary. Sorry, creating a data frame. Now, if you want to display the data of a specific column, you can write here, and just if I write name here, you can get the output for the names. If I write df age, then you can get the information about the age. So that way you can just provide the column information to get the specific column. Column addition. We will understand this by adding two columns into an existing data frame. So we have two different means we want to add a new column. Let's say this is our existing data frame. In this, I want to add one more column, that is a location. So what I have to write is df and specify the name of the new column is equal to, you may simply write pd.series. The location part, let's say the first one is Pune, second one is Mumbai, and the next one is Chennai. Again, important point is index. So don't forget the index 1, 2, 3. So if this is done, you can just write df. And can you see one new column has been added over here in the existing data frame? Are you understanding this?
Yes, ma'am.
This was an existing data frame and in which I wanted to add column. So how to add a column? We can simply write df location is equal to like this. All right. So let's go ahead. If you want to delete a specific column, then like we have done in Python, we can write del df, and here you may write location. So if I write df here, you can see now the location is gone. This is one way. Let me run this one again. So I have added the location column again. Now, if you want to delete it, then we have another option, that is to use, I think, pop. So df.pop, and here you may specify location. So pop will also return the row which has been, column which has been deleted. So now after removal, you can see this is the information. So here we have deleting the column and all those things. Now let's go for row selection. So I think you are okay with adding a new column, removing an existing column, and also displaying the column, specific column. Everybody is okay with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now if you want to display the specific record, then you can write df and in the square bracket, dot loc, and here you have to specify the index. So let's say index is 2. So you can see the row record with the index 2 is being shown here. Okay. Now, suppose I do not remember the index, but I know that normally the indexing is from 0, 1, 2, 3 and all. So I remember that one. So you can write df.iloc and you can write 0. So are you able to understand the difference between LOC and ILOC? LOC will refer to index. So index may not be 0, 1, 2, right? It may be 101, it may be A, B, C, D, etc. Anything can be index. So LOC takes index as a parameter, whereas ILOC takes a position. Here we are going to supply position. I hope I am clear. The difference between the two is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, we can also apply the slicing concept that we have seen in the list. So let's do that as well. So here, suppose I am writing df square bracket 0 colon, dot ILOC, and here I am writing 0 colon 2. So now you can see the first and the second record will be shown. Also, I told you that if you want the first and the third record, so what you will be doing, df.I twice you have to use the square bracket and you can write 0 comma 2. So that way you can get the first and the third record. Now, if you have two different data frames and you want to concatenate them or you want to join them together to create a newer data frame, so how to do that? So let's have one more data frame. So just copy this. Let me call this as df2 is equal to pd dot data frame data. Now here I will be changing the record. So already we have D. So let me make it at this time we are going to change the index. So we'll have it 4, 5, and 6. Age is so here a new data frame is created. Now we are going to write df dot append df2. So if you do this, you will be able to see. Now let me just write. If you print df individually, df is still the same, and if you print df, it is also still the same. So if you write df dot append df2, it actually returns something. So let me call this as df1. So now if you print df1, you can see the concatenated result. It will join the two and then you will get the result. Are you okay with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if you want to delete a specific record, then what you have to do is df.drop and then provide the index or the location of the record which has to be removed. So let's try this out. So from df1, I will say drop, and let's say I want to drop the sixth one. I am not sure if 6 will be working. Yes, you can see the sixth one is gone now. It returns, basically it returns, okay. So if I print df1, df1 will not change. It has returned the one which was deleted. So whenever you are deleting, it is creating a new data frame. So here, let me write df underscore new, or you may write df1. Suppose you want to overwrite the previous one, you may do it like this. So if you print df1, you can see the sixth record is not there anymore. So by using the drop and specifying the index, you should be able to delete a specific record.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, first we were not storing it in df1. We were directly dropping it. Ma'am, so the data where it was stored then?
No, it wasn't stored. It was just showing us.
Okay.
Sorry. 1 minute. So when you apply drop method, it is just showing us the output. It returns the output, right? So this notebook will just show us the output. But if you print df1, df1 is still intact. It has the sixth record as well.
Okay, ma'am.
It doesn't get deleted from here. So we need to store it manually so that the change is reflected like this. So now DF1 is getting rid of the 6th record. Now the next one is panel data frame. So what is, panel data structure? A panel is a 3D.
There is no updation in this if we want to update any of the rows of a particular index.
It is possible. 1 minute.
And if we want to change only one of this parameter.
Yeah. 1 minute. Name, and here suppose I am writing 1 is equal to say Suraj. The value is trying to set the copy. Let me just write here. Yes, you can modify this, right? First you have to specify the column and then you have to specify the row. Let me try the other way around. This is not allowed. So first is the column name, second is the what you call this as row. That is how you will specify. Key error is there. Na? Key error is 1. It is saying. So first we have to specify the column, then you have to specify the this thing. If you want to modify 1 minute, df1, if I write here 1, sorry,
df dot loki
dot loki पूरा नहीं, वो फेच करने के लिए ना, मॉडिफाई करने के लिए हम लोकेशन से नहीं मॉडिफाई कर सकते. एक तो ये तरीका है कि आप इंडिविजुअल वैल्यू डाल सकते हो, बट पूरा रो ही अगर मॉडिफाई करना है तो कैसे करेंगे, सोच लीजिए. Individual element you can modify like this. Okay, first you specify the column name, second you specify the row index, and then you can provide the newer value. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That I need to check if I want to modify the entire row, how you have to do it. Basically, I think you should delete it and add a new row. That's as simple as that. Okay. Directly modifying, maybe I think it is not permitted. So the term panel data is derived from econometrics and is partially responsible for the name pandas, that is panel data. The names of 3 axes are intended to give same semantic meaning. So here the idea is, like as I said, panel is now 3D. So we will have, already we have studied series. Series is one dimensional. And we have seen when you combine multiple series together, you get a data frame. So data frame becomes 2 dimensional. Now what I'm saying is, we have suppose 2 data frames. Now we combine them and then we try to create a panel. So panel will be a combination of data frames. So here the names of the 3 axes are intended to give some semantic meaning to describing operations involving panel data. So now we have 3 dimensions like x, y and z is also there. So first is items axis 0. Each item corresponds to data frame contained inside. Major axis, axis 1, is the index or the row of each data frame. And minor axis, that is axis 2, is the column of each data frame. So how you will understand this? Let's say we have, 1 minute, I will just, I'll show you some example to understand this. So first, let's see this. We have pandas.panel. First parameter is data. Then the second parameter is the items, major axis, minor axis. So here, if we have a random method to generate random numbers, you can see 2, 4, 5. That means we are generating an array of 3 dimensional. Using this 3D data, we are creating a panel. So let's try this out. P1 is equal to pd dot panel, and now to create this we are using np dot random dot ran 2 comma 4 comma 5, something like this. NumPy is not imported. We had imported NumPy also.
मैम रैंडम का स्पेलिंग
Okay, so whenever you are creating a panel, you will observe a message coming up. Panel is deprecated. So I hope you remember yesterday I told you, right? Panel will be deprecated. It will not be available in the upcoming versions. So it is already being deprecated. So that is why we are getting this type of message. But it is still creating it. Means that facility is available as of now. In future, maybe it will not be present. So we have pd.panel, that is using the random function. What this random function does, it generates a bunch of numbers for us. So if you try to observe this output, you can see there is a bunch of numbers being created. How many numbers are being created? You can see the higher dimension is 2. So this is 1 and this is 2. You may just assume there is a building and there are 2 floors. So this is my ground floor and this is my first floor. You have to just see it in the opposite manner, okay? When you are looking at the array, the first index is 0, the second index is 1. Now come to the first floor. In the first floor, there are, you can assume that there is a square kind of arrangement. Means a bunch of flats are there, and in which you have 4 flats like this. This is 5 and this part is 4. So 4 by 3 is the size here. So this is my first arrangement and this is my second arrangement. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So selecting the data from the panel. So if you have created the panel and you want to fetch the data out of it, so how you will do that? So if so this is the just I was showing you random, but the actual data is present in P1. So if I write here P1 square bracket 0, that will give me the first data frame data or the first section's data, and then similarly P1 1 will give us the second section's data. So because now we cannot directly write P1 to show the output, it will just say that now we have one item axis, that is 0 1. In the 0th section you have 0 to 3. In the minor axis section you have 0 to 4. Like this it will be showing us. So it is difficult to interpret this result. So from the first one, if you want to fetch the data, refer to 0 1, and then next you have to refer to 1. So this is another example where we have suppose 2 data frames, and now we combine them into one panel. So how do we achieve this? Let's see this. So let me take the example from 2 data frames that we already have. So this is one data frame we have. Now we have one more data frame. This is student data frame we have. So this is 1 and this is 2. Now I want to just remove this. So we have 2 data frames. This is DF2, this is TF. Using this, I want to create a panel. So here I will write P1 is equal to PD dot panel. So first I will be writing here 0 colon DF1 and key value has to be provided. Okay, so first I need to create a dictionary. So let's write your data. So key is data1 colon df2 data2 colon df. Now if you go ahead and try to create a panel out of this, so we will write p1 is equal to pd dot panel and pass data as a parameter. Sorting because pandas will change. Okay. So now P1, and in the square bracket now I will have to write data 1. So that will give me the data from the first one. Similarly, we will have to write P1 square bracket data 2 to get the data from the second column. And it will actually, because both the data that we had combined were not matching, their indexes and everything was not matching. So just to create a matching thing, they have added some records and some columns in order to make them of the matching criteria. So I hope this is clear how to create a panel data frame using data frame. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so using major access, data can be accessed using methods like we can also use panel object dot major underscore access and specify the index. That is also another way of accessing the elements from the panel. So here we may write P1, P1 dot major access square bracket, suppose I write 0. So it is telling me that the major axis of the first one is 0. Similarly, we may have minor axis as 1. So instead of square bracket, if I write 0, this is not followable. So X S is the thing we have to write. No, it is not showing. Key error 0. Okay. So I have to provide data, I think so. Okay, in both the cases we have 4 and all. So here, this one I'm not very sure how to get it. So if I directly apply 4, you can see the fourth column information from data 1 and from data 2. From both the sections, fourth index is being fetched. If you observe the output from here, this is fourth one and this is the fourth one, right? So here you can see data 1, data 2. For data 2, all are NaN. For data 1, here we have some record. So that can be fetched by using major underscore access variable. Similarly, we can have minor access. Minor access will give us. So if I just repeat this, and instead of major, if I write minor. Minor. Set data one have to specify. Zero, it is not taken. This I have to just cross check. Okay, I'm not remembering this exact thing. Major and minor access. I'll just revise this point and I will let you know. As far as I remember, if I have the data, so this is considered as major, this is minor. That is what I remember, but I think some mistake is there. So this part I will just cross check and let you know. But I think you are okay till this point, whatever we have seen in this section. How to create the panel, that is okay?
Yes, ma'am.
In any case, panel is deprecated, so we don't have to study too much on panel. Most important, the important functionality that we have to focus on, that will be on data frame, not on panel or series. Series is actually used in data frame. That is why we need to know the series concept. Now, let's come to another section where you have. We'll continue with pandas. So some of the we have seen how to create this thing. Suppose a series is already created and now I want to change its indexing. So we have the re-index facility available. This can be applied to anything. Means we can apply this to data frame as well, or we can apply it to series as well. So let me take an example of an existing data frame. So this is my data frame where you can see the index is 4, 5, 6. If I don't want the index to be 4, 5, 6, I want to change this index. Then what you have to do is df2 re-index method we have to use and specify the new index. So A, B and C. Sorry, it returns, I think so. Oops. So now since the data that was stored here was with respect to 4, 5 and 6. So since you have added the new index corresponding to that, the data is not directly available. That is why it has changed everything to NaN. So if you want, this is A, B, C, D, E. Okay, let me just, instead of having A, B, C, let me write here 1, 4, 5. Okay, let me use the one which is already present plus use the one which is not present. So here you can see for 1 it is showing me NaN and 4 and 5 data are intact. So that way you may be changing the index if required. Now, if you have a data like this, here we saw there is some data which is not having anything. This is called as missing value. So there will be certain circumstances where we have to deal with the missing data. For ordered data like time series, it may be desirable to do some interpolation or filling of the values when reindexing. The method option allows us to do so. We can use ffill, that is called as forward fill. So if you are performing reindexing, you can use the method that is forward fill for performing the reindexing. So let's try this out. So here we have a series called as blue, purple, yellow with index 0 to 4. So S1 is equal to pd dot series red, green, purple. So this is one series object that we have created. Now we are saying S1 dot reindex, and then we are going to give it a new index, say called range. We are giving it range 6. So already how many data we have? We have only 3 data. So if you say range 6, so the output will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 3 additional values are being generated. And let's call this as method is equal to ffill. Let me just show you like this first of all. If I directly write this, S1 is equal to, and let's try printing S1. So you will observe that red, after red what do you observe? Nothing is there. Then we have green, after green nothing is there. Purple, nothing is there after this. If I apply the method that is ffill, so let's run this again. Method is equal to ffill. So now can you see forward fill means if the next element is NaN, you have to fill it in the forward direction. So the previous value is filling the next value. This value is filling the next value. This value is filling the next value. That is termed as forward fill. Are you clear with this, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with the data frame, we have some additional methods that are pretty useful. So there is a method called as sum method. sum method can be applied on data frame where we will be summing up each and every column. So let's try this out. So first I need to have a data frame. So let's use this data frame. This is the problem. When we are using the same data again and again, it is becoming a little bit confusing. So this is the first data frame. Okay, let me use this one only. So df is equal to pd dot data frame, and let's pass data here. So this is one data frame that we have. Okay, and now we have to just apply this sum method. So df dot sum, if you directly write like this, so what will you observe? Just observe the output. What it will do is it will do the summation of every column. So in case of percentage, it will add up the percentage. In case of age, it will sum up the age. In case of names, which is the string data type, it will do the concatenation. So here the string concatenation has been done. Then there is something called as df sum. You can write here df dot sum, and you may specify the column as 1. This is like 0, 1, 2. So if you write like this, you get the summation of 1, 1, 1, 1. Yeah? Okay, actually, if you do not provide anything, it is considered as 0. So it is taking vertical. If you give 1, it is now taking everything horizontal. So in case of horizontal summation, AAA is a string. So string cannot be added over here. So now it is only adding 1267. That is giving us 79. 23 plus 89 is 112. 14 plus 60 is giving us 74. So this is default index is equal to 0. So it will be considered as row wise. Sorry, column wise. And in this case, it is, sorry, index is equal to 1. This will be row wise. Now, if you want, like we have some other functionalities like mean. So df dot mean. So for all the numerical data, it will calculate the mean. Obviously, the string cannot participate for mean calculation. So it will do the some mathematical calculation for the numerical information. Then standard deviation. So std method is there to give us the standard deviation. So these are the set of functions that can be applied: max, min, median, mode, count, etc. So you can apply them as per your need. Then there is something, another important feature that is called as describe. So here you may write df dot describe. Oh, sorry. Describe is d small. So this is a very useful functionality where you get lot of information in one go. It will give you the count, mean, standard deviation, etc. So directly you are going to fetch all the detail by just writing df.describe. Now, when you are using describe, you can see that the output is coming only with respect to the numerical data. If you want that the name should also be included, or the response should be given for name or the string as well, then you have to write describe include is equal to object. So here let me write here df dot describe include is equal to so now it will tell us the information about the string part, only the string part. So how many strings are there, how many unique strings are there, so what is the frequency of occurrence of each and every string, that is also shown up. Now, if you want to include both the string and the numeric data, we have another option with us, that is df dot describe include is equal to all. Sorry, include is equal to so you can simply write include is equal to all. That will give us the name, age, percentage. Everything will be shown up here. So this way we have seen how to deal with the data that is present in the data frame. Means we have to perform different mathematical calculations. The next section is dealing with the missing data. If your data is not present, then how to deal with that? So that is handled by using the missing data concept. So how to do that? I'll directly go for the coding part. So if you consider this example where we have some data, if you observe this output, you can see B, D and G. There is nothing in this sections, right? This is considered as missing data. So for this missing data, we have different options available. Let me show you, but first we have to get the record which is of missing data. So let me write here 2D the data frame random. So instead of random, I have another function that is np dot a range. See, a range method, if I give it like 2, 5, 10, 4, 40. Suppose I write here 40. So it will give me 40 numbers. This is in an array format. Now let me write here reshape. And I want it to be like this. And let's store this in data. Let's print this data. So can you see that we have obtained a three-dimensional array by using this technique? It's quite easy to understand. What is the functionality of arange method? It will generate a numbers from 0 to 39. So we actually got how many numbers? 40 numbers. To these set of numbers, we are then applying the reshape method. So we are saying, okay, let's divide it into two rows, two separate blocks, which are of 4 by 5, 4 by 5, like that. So that way, this is 4 by 5, this is also 4 by 5. Like this, we have two different entities. We are combining them and we get this data. So this is the data section. First, tell me, till this point, is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, using this, we are going to create the data frame. So here, okay, some mistake is there. Value error. Must pass 2D input. Okay, data frame is 2D, right? So I cannot use it like this. Then why I use this concept? Sorry, I should not have done this one. 4, 5, 20. Let me just, my mistake. I should not use 3D data. So now you can see it has successfully created the data frame. And now, if you just print this DF, we can see by default the indexing is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now let me write here index is equal to 0, 1, 2. Let me write here 0, 4. 1, 2, then let me write here 5. Let's write here 6. So let's run this. Sorry. Not like this. I just have to keep it as it is. Now let me write df dot reindex, and we will have 0, 1, or let me just use the range method 6. So observe this one. If you observe range method, you can see that there are some missing values coming up here in this section. So are you clear why this happened? Because earlier we had the data which had 0, 1, 2, 3. And now we have used up to 6. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 4 and 5 are the extra index values we have added. That's why this part is missing data. So now in this section, we are going to see how to deal with the missing data. Are you clear, everybody, till this point?
Yes, ma'am.
So there is one option to check what are the null values. So you may write here df, and you can specify the column name. So say 0, then column. The column heading is not there. Then let me just give some proper column heading. That will be making it better. So also I will be using index is equal to A, B, and C. Columns is equal to column, col 2, col 3. What happened? Data we have 4 by 5. So index, okay, the column has to be 5. 4, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 columns and 4 rows. So accordingly, we have created this. Now we are saying re-index, and let's provide a new index. So already I have A. In place of B, let me write something, say P. Then we have, say, B is already there. Then instead of C, let me add Q. Then we have C, P, Q, R. A, B, C, D is there. Okay, this has to be in the form of list. So here you will observe that A is intact, B is intact, C is intact, and D is intact. In between, you can see some missing values coming up. Now, we will be specifying the column one. Dot is, what is the functionality? Is null. All in small letters. So if we are checking is null, then you can see A, it is not null. B is not null. C is not null. D is also not null. So for these particular parameters, it is showing us that these are the values which are not null. Now, in the similar way, you can observe that the other functionality is not null. So if you ask, is it not null? So it will return true, true, true. Whenever it is finding not null. So this is to check whether the particular value is null or not null. Now, if you want to have filling of the missing data, then we can have fill NA by 0. That is one option that we have. So df dot fill NA by 0. That is one option. So if you run this, you can see wherever, okay, fill NA by 0. It should show me 0. Why it is not showing the 0? I think I have to write here. Some mistake. 1 minute. This is my data frame. This is the reindexing. After doing the reindexing, we are seeing like this. Why it has removed the missing data? But there is an option to remove the missing data as well. That is drop NA, I think so. Drop NA will remove the missing data straightforward. Should be there, yes. You can see df.drop_na will directly remove the missing data. But in this particular case, I am not sure why it is not showing, but it should show. And there is another option that is called as backfill and front fill. F-fill or pad is option is also there. So pad is like forward fill. In the forward direction, it is going to fill. Fills in the forward direction, and backfill will fill in the backward direction. So F-fill and backfill methods can be used to deal with the missing data. So here I need to check why it is not showing us the missing values, because these missing values we have. This is okay. Sorry, I did not store it. That is the reason. I should store it back here. So that is the reason. Now you can see it is showing me appropriate result. Now if I write like this and I try to see, now you can see the missing values have been replaced with 0. Then this is one option. Let me re-execute it once again. So this is the first one. This is the second one. So now if you print this df, I have rerun, okay? So now again I have the missing data. If I want, I can write df is equal to df dot fill. And we can write not one minute. Fill NA method is equal to pad. Fill NA. Here we have to write method is equal to pad. This is for forward fill. So forward fill means this data will go into will be copied into the next one. This data will get copied in the forward direction. So if you print df, you can see the output like this. You can see this record is copied here. This record is copied here, and so on. That is called as forward fill. If I have the same data again, this is my original data frame, this is my reindexing. So now we want to go for backfill. So here I'll say method is equal to backfill. Print it. So now you will observe the filling is done in the backward direction. The last record is copied into its previous one. So these are some of the techniques which can be used to deal with missing data. So I guess everyone is okay with this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's stop here for today, and tomorrow tomorrow is Saturday. We will not have a lecture tomorrow. Then Monday we will have the lecture where we will continue, and we will means after completing data frame we will continue with plotting example. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, everybody.